Hi, it's Esma here at the Clean Green Nappy Machine in Hebden Bridge. This week I'm going to show you some flat nappy folds. We've got a great guide on our website, so if you want to have a look, the link is on your screen at the moment. But for today I'm just going to run through a couple of the more popular folds to try and show you on a video, which is often easier to follow, what might be the best folds for you. In order that you can see the folds a little bit easier, you've got me cut off in this video, but hopefully you'll get a really good view of what's going on the changing mat here. The first fold that I want to look at is the Origami Fold, and the reason that's the first one is because it's excellent for newborn babies, and it's the one we tend to demonstrate in the shop most often. And for the Origami Fold, you get your nappy like that and fold it in half so it's an oblong, exactly half of your square, corner to corner. And then you do the classic origami fold, which if you remember from your school days or if you've been busy with your children doing this, is one corner goes to the other. So I'll just do that again. You pick up that corner there, leaving the second one down, you pull it over just to the other corner, and that gives you this triangle and a square of fabric lying across the bottom. You then pick up all of the corners in the bottom, all of the fabric in the bottom two corners, and flip the entire thing over like that, which then means that you've still got your triangle, but it's lying underneath, and you've then got that square of fabric on top. And the reason you do that is that square then becomes the absorbency that goes down the middle of your nappy, and you fold it in. You can do it by thirds or quarters. A quarter would be for a much smaller baby, a third is just for a normal newborn. And if you see there, what that does then is it's putting all of your absorbency down the middle of the nappy and leaving it nice and slim around the bit that's going to go around the hips. I've got my nappy nipper now, and what you're going to do is you're going to take baby and pop them slightly towards the back of that, because this fabric here then comes up between the legs, and you can keep pulling it through to get it so that it's equidistant front and back there. And then the side tab comes across like that, and again like that. And then finally you fasten it with your nappy nipper. So onto the side, and over again onto the side, like that, side and side, and then finally put it down between the legs. And as you can see there, that's a really nice, neat terry nappy fold, but with a really good amount of absorbency between the legs. It keeps it really trim where you want it trim for a smaller baby. We get a lot of customers coming into the shop with grandparents or in-laws who use terry nappies in their own day, and the one that they always remember is the Kite Fold. So I'm going to show you that as well, although a lot of the more modern folds have perhaps become a little bit more sophisticated, so people prefer to go with those, but it's a great simple fold to learn as well. So what you're going to do is have your nappy spread out in front of you in a diamond shape. You can't see it completely because the bench drops down there, but you've got it in front of you in a diamond shape. You're going to take these two corners and bring them up so that they meet. Now that means it's not going to meet into the middle. So you take the two corners, bring them together so that they meet, and what you want them to do is to meet and lay flat on the fabric there, like that. You then fold up this bit, and what's quite nice about this nappy fold is that you can fold it up as far or as little as you need in order to get the right fit for your baby. And this bit then comes down like that. Again, what you can see there is you've got extra fabric here and less fabric going through to your hips. That means that you lessen the bulk around the hips to make clothes fitting more easy. Now you can see if I put this particular dummy onto there, it makes it quite a wide fit. If I try and pull it up between the legs, it's too wide. So what some people prefer to do on younger babies is you can fold further across to get a trimmer fit from the start, and that will make it slightly better. see that fits better and the legs are going through quite nicely. Well, the other thing you can do is you can keep it as it was. Like that. And then just give it an extra fold along there. Some people like to do that anyway. They say it's really good for containment because rolling inwards means that if you do get an explosion of poo, it's got a kind of shelf to hit, which acts as a little bit of a buffer. Just gather it up as you pop it on between the legs. Spread it out once it's across the tummy. Sides come round. And again, you fasten it on with your nipper. So first side, second side, and underneath. There you go. So the next fold we're going to look at is one which is called corners, and this is really good for minimising leakage and keeping the nappy nice and trim and snug around the baby's legs. So the first thing you do with this one, have the nappy out in front of you as a square straight rather than in a diamond, and fold up. And the amount you're going to fold up here depends on the size of your baby, so I'm going to do it fairly large. You can fold up by up to about a third. I'm going to do it by, I think, just under a quarter. So fold up there, and then the next thing you do is you fold across the same amount, so that you've got a corner here which has got 1, 2, 3, 4 layers of fabric there. And the next thing you do, making sure those two are equal, because you want this to fold into a square. So the next thing you do is you fold this thicker corner up to meet the corner there. And if it's not exactly right, you can just try and make sure you get all the corners to line up there. Having done that, what you want is this thicker bit down facing you. So you rotate the entire thing, have a triangle like that, and then you pop baby onto the terry, like that. First thing you're going to do is pull this up and through the legs, but what you're doing is you're picking up the corner that has the extra fabric and you are leaving the other corner down for now. You then pull this bit of fabric across and a little bit down, and what that's doing is it's sizing it really nicely around the leg, and again on the other side, across and then down. Again, that's angling that fabric really nicely so it goes around the leg. And finally, this little bit that you left before goes up, and again just make sure it's nicely wrapped around the leg, and that goes up over the entire fold. Again, your nappy nipper, one side and the other side, and then down between the legs. Right, the next fold we're going to look at again requires you to have your nappy. We're going to start with it as a diamond, like that. The instructions actually say start with it as a square, but if you do that, you then need to turn it round once it's folded. So I'm going to start with it as a diamond. And what we're doing is we're putting all 4 corners into the middle to meet, so that each one has got the same distance and area. A bit like if you're making one of those fortune teller things, if you ever used to make those in the playground. So you've got a square left there. Mine's not perfect, but it will kind of straighten itself out as you go. You've got a square with everything folded into the middle. The next thing you do then is you're folding it into thirds to make a nice long thin strip. So you're going to start with one side or the other, and you fold it in by a third, like that. And then the final third comes across like that. And that is then basically a pad that you're going to put onto your baby, but a little bit like you would do with a pre-fold, you're going to fan out the top. So we literally just pull that back and pull that back like that, keeping it as flat as possible there. Baby then lies like that. And these bits come around the side. Again, we've reduced the the bulk around the hips there. Come around the side like that. And round with your nipper and down. And this is a lovely compact fit. So what you've done is you've taken the bulk away from the legs. A lot of the folds that we've shown you, the fabric comes down the legs. With this one, it sits really nice and high. It makes it a very compact fit. The next fold is quite a traditional one, the envelope fold, and that requires you to start with your nappy laid out like a diamond, and you're going to do into the middle again, but only 3 sides of it this time. You're going to leave this side open. So left and right and bottom, then fold in. And what you then do is you do pull this one down, but not to the middle. So we're going to pull that down a little bit further. And all you do then is you fold the bottom corners like this. And that's your fold. Baby goes in. Around the hips. And fasten your nipper. This is quite a good fold for a boy because what it does is it puts a lot of fabric at the front of the nappy, which is obviously where boys tend to wet a little bit more, so they need more absorbency there. And the final fold we're going to look at is a parallel. And again, this requires you to have your nappy laid out like a diamond to start with. And what we do is we pull top and bottom rather, down to the middle, but you're going to overlay it a little bit, and how far you overlay it is going to depend on the size of your baby, so try it and adjust it accordingly. I'm just going to do it a little bit again because it's easier to show the folds if it's only a small amount. Fold it over. Once you've done that, what you do is you take this corner and you lay it flat along there. And that creates a kind of parallelogram shape there, with that bit of fabric coming down at a very slight angle. And then you do the same with the other side, lay it along there. And then you have a little bit of overlapping from the middle to the back of the nappy, which means when you pop it on, that's quite good for a girl because girls tend to wet middle to back. So pop baby on. You're going to need to gather this one ever so slightly to pop it up and through the legs. Flatten it out against the tummy. Sides go round. And then your nipper goes on. So I hope all of those were easy to follow. It can take a little bit of practice with them, and it can also take a bit of trial and error for you to work out which one is going to be best for your baby. And as well as that, it can change as your baby grows. So have a look at the sheet, see which ones are recommended for when and for a boy or a girl, etc. And have a play around and see what's going to work best for you.